Hello, my name is Gwen, and welcome to your practice. Today we'll have some fun together, 30 minutes of moving meditation. So we'll start with building our heart bed. If you have a bolster, grab your bolster now. If you need to construct your bolster, 2 blankets, you can roll one and then another blanket over that blanket, or you can use a pool noodle. I'm going to use a yoga block. They're beautifully light, and if you don't have one, go grab an encyclopedia. They're a little heavy, so careful not to lift it too much. You'll just press it underneath your bolster. Today I'm going to make a waterfall pillow on the top. So take a blanket, fold it about this size if you want to make your waterfall pillow, roll the top, and then place it on your support right at the top so that that's where your skull, the back of your head, will sit. And then go ahead and get yourself positioned with your back at the bolster. Your feet on the floor, knees bent, and then unfurl the spine. Just let yourself fold down. And then feel the back of the head, beautifully supported. Once you're down and you feel that support underneath you, take a few deep breaths and notice how your body can settle in here. Rock the back of the skull a few times. Close those beautiful eyes. And start to witness from the inside out now. What is your starting point like? What does the body feel like? How is it speaking to you in the lower back? Is there any discomfort? Any sharp pains? Any deep-seated exhaustion in the legs? What do the shoulders feel like? Can you sense them draping a little bit more? Each exhale. The arms down to the fingers. Go ahead and bend the knees up just a wee bit more. Heel toe them wide so that the inner knees knock. Have the toes inward. And feel for a moment the legs. Feel the deep lean of one leg leaning into each other. You can give a little press of the inner knees and then relax that effort. 2 more times like that. The inner knees will feel that muscular pull towards each other. Notice the outer hips, the lower back, and then relax and soften. And 1 more just like that. Go ahead and press the inner knees together and then soften. And notice how this feels. We're going to do a little bit of movement with our breath today. So our pranayama is going to be movement with breath. So let's take a few breaths to center in before we start. Go ahead and pull that next breath in through the nose. And a few natural sighs as you relax and soften, soften, soften. Feel into your body. Notice the mind, the starting point. And what are you calling into your deepest part of your body today, into your life? What is that next stage of mastery for you? Go ahead and bring your mind's eye into what you're calling in. And feel that energy like it's happening. And if you have an intention for your practice, if there's someone that you love dearly that needs a little more attention, go ahead and breathe their essence in. Might be an animal. They might no longer be on the planet, but with you always. You don't even have to know their name. Maybe you heard of them in a story. Go ahead and breathe their essence in. You have room for the world. Notice what that feels like. Relax more and more into this deep stillness. And then on your next natural inhale, go ahead and let the arms float up. Feel the muscles responsible for that action. Take the palms together, interlace the fingers, and then float the palms upward. Keep the muscular effort soft. On the under-efforted side, go ahead and squeeze the fingers and let one elbow feel like a weight. Notice how it gently comes downward. The other elbow, let it move away from it. So feel that lengthening quality from elbow to elbow. You might gingerly drop the elbow down to the floor. And then as you inhale, feel the palms come out. Feel how long that exhale is as the elbow comes downward. Let it tap. A light little pause. And then inhale. Come into the rhythm of your breath with this movement. Let it be the pump to the breath. Notice the fullness of the breath. The light little pause, empty, for a comfortable count of 1, 2. And then inhale through center, full and deep. A little pause filled with breath for 1, 2. And then exhale over to the other side. As the elbow comes downward that next time, pause there, empty. On your next inhale, float the hands upward in a circular motion, wherever that is for your arms and comfortable, and then exhale the other side downward. And it might be a micro movement. This might be a lot smaller. Maybe you spiral inward, so the circle starts to become a little smaller. Maybe the breath becomes a little quicker as you experiment. So let curiosity guide you here. There's no right or wrong. Feel into your breath and notice. And then what's the other direction like? Notice the deliberate attention on the breath as you anchor it with the movement. And what does that feel like? And then go ahead and float the arms all the way up. Undo the fingers, widen through the fingers. Then relax the hands and let them circle around the wrist, like they're flopping. And then the other direction, let them flop a wee bit. And like the arms are floating through water, slowly let them come to the floor and notice how they feel in the shoulders, the elbows to the wrist. Roll the knuckles heavy on the floor so that the palms feel upward. And then take a few breaths as you absorb all of that goodness. Observe all of the effects of that movement. Spaces between the fingers, the knuckles, the wrist, where the arm meets the floor to the elbow, from the elbow to the shoulder, from one shoulder all the way through the collarbone to the other. And one more breath just like that. And then go ahead and roll the palms down and have the knees come away. Walk the heels towards the sit bones. And let's discover the lower back now with our breath. So the sit bones will simply come to a height that suits you and then lower. And again, different heights are great. So discover what it feels like to come to all these different heights as we lift and lower. So on your next natural breath, press evenly into both feet, from the big toe to the baby toe to the heel. Lift the sit bones up just to get a piece of paper under them. And then lower. Let the sit bones come nice and heavy down. And then again, maybe up to get just a little light reading book, maybe a magazine, so not too high, and then soften. You see where I'm going with those analogies? Maybe just a encyclopedia now. And then soften. And maybe one more for good luck. Notice both feet. Is one working a little harder than the other? Notice both arms as weighted down for support. As you rest the sit bones down, heel toe the feet wide and observe the lower back to the outer hips. From one sit bone to the other. Feel the legs and the tingling. Observe the knees. All the way down to the feet. And then take another deep breath right there. And exhale it all out now. And then go ahead and take the knees away from each other and drag the sit bones over to one side as you roll over to the other. Take the props, your bolster, and just go ahead and clear the runway. A little light housekeeping for a moment so that you can come flat on your back for a body scan. And as you lay on your back, you can lengthen through one leg, feel into your lower back. If there's any discomfort, go ahead and bend up the knees and have the inner knees knock for your body scan. Or lengthen through the other. Give the back of the skull a light little rock as you observe the shoulders, the neck, that inner environment after some pranayama and a little breath work. And after that long held back bend, the back of the shoulders might feel just a wee bit heavier. All the way downward, feel all the way into the sit bones. The legs, give the toes a little wriggle. Notice that internal environment right here. What do we have? Bring that nice little Buddha smile into the mouth. Let the corners of the mouth curl up just a wee bit and feel that warmth start to, that appreciation, that devotion to yourself. Let it seep in. Take that internal snapshot at your starting point here. We're going to come into a gentle somatic flow called frog legs. So we'll start with the knees bent. So go ahead and bend one knee and plant that foot. You can give a little press and then the other. Use the arms now as wedge supports to the side body. So go ahead and rock the knees from side to side and feel the arms start to wriggle into the side body so that they'll be like a brake, a braking system. They'll put on the brakes to the movement if you need a little support. Know that they can come outward from the body, and you might notice your range of motion increase. And if that feels super great for you, then you can stay there, or you use the arms to help the legs move. Use the arms for support. So let's start with the right. Leave the left exactly where it is, nice and still. And have the knee, that right knee, start to splay outward. And notice how that feels. Come to the baby toe edge of that foot. And then go ahead, nice and slow, smooth, methodical, so that you can really feel the bit by bit of that knee outward and inward. The breath can be nice and even. It might take quite a bit of time for it to come down, and you might notice some sticky parts, some bumpy parts, a wobble here and there. Let yourself come into that wobble if you experience it. Notice the muscles responsible for this action around the hip, the lower spine. And let's travel over to the other side. So as that right knee comes up, let it remain there. And then go ahead and let the other side come outward. Nice and slow. The arms might remain where they are as support underneath the body. Or each time you might allow the arms to come outward and notice how that affects your body today in this moment. Each moment a different body, a different sensation. So as we practice here together, have some fun with these modifications, these little add-ons. Notice that baby toe edge of that foot, how slow the leg can go, like the second hand on a clock. Eyes are closed, so you can experience this from the inside out. And know that you never have to look like anyone else. So maybe you do one or two. Perfect. And now explore. As that side comes up, let it tap the other, and then downward goes that first side, the right side. Slowly it can come upward. And like it's passing the baton, it taps the other side, and the other side comes down. Add a little dash of playfulness now, and feel the back of the pelvis roll from side to side if that's available for you. If we're building trust and we've been living in a lot of discomfort, maybe you stay with that discipline of stillness. Just a light little tap, have the arms helping. Keep them tight to the side, or have them outward and play. A little tap, a little roll. You can go a little quicker if you'd like. And then what's it like for both knees to come outward? Maybe they find the arms right there and the hands can help. Notice what that's like for the hands, like they're closing the book to come up. Notice any wobbles. You might like to go a little slower up for a comfortable count of 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then downward, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Experiment. Notice how slow the legs can come up and down, those little wobbles. If you feel a wobble, you can pause and let that wobble become a little larger as that tension finds that little way out, squeezes through the crack, out, all the way bubbles up to the surface and out, through your breath, through your awareness. Let the magic begin here, bit by bit. This means whereby. Just a handful more breaths, just like that. And then we'll pause. Heel toe the feet a little wider, toes inward, have the inner knees knock, knuckles heavy, and feel into your body here. Notice the back of the pelvis, the outer hips, the legs. Notice what you have here on the mat. That lower half. And then travel up through the torso, all the way through the chest area, the shoulders, and dive through the center of the brain, where you think that may be. Send a few valuable breaths as the secretary of the body sorts and registers that valuable information. And then go ahead and take your time and lengthen through one leg and then the other. So we'll start with the right side. Let the toe remain pointing up. You'll drag that heel. Feel it drag all the way up until the foot plants. The arms can be by your side on that right side and let it splay out. As it comes outward, drag the baby toe edge all the way down until the leg flops on the floor. Observe that side. Come on over to the other side. Let the other toes, the left toes, point up. Drag that heel and observe that right side as that left side moves. Notice how it wants to participate. As that left knee comes down into the arm, feel that baby toe edge and drag that foot all the way down until you feel a flop. Let it relax, come into that deep, relaxed state, more and more stillness. And then from side to side, you can alternate. Bend one knee. Gently, softly let it come downward and feel how the pelvis, the legs, are working like this now. A light little flop. Take a deep breath into stillness. And then the other side when you're ready. And maybe one more each side. 2 or 3 is plenty to repattern any loops that are no longer serving you. That brain to muscle connection. We take our time, this valuable time, to repattern that loop. Let's do a little bit of the opposite now. So feel that right leg. Come into the baby toe edge and let it drag upward towards the groin. The knee can point towards the ceiling. Drag the heel down. Let the leg flop. Take a few deep breaths. And then the other side, feel that baby toe edge drag. It never has to come up to the same spot. Maybe it comes to a few different spots. And then drag that heel all the way down. As you come into that deep relaxation, notice the muscles turn off. It's as important. So let's come over to the right side and feel the muscles responsible for this action. The knee will point up and notice those outer hips. Whole family of muscles in the lower back as you drag it down. And then feel that same group of muscles turn off. And how well do they do so? Other side. Notice the outer hips as you drag that baby toe edge and the knee comes up. Notice that lower back as it drags down. And then let it flop. Take a few deep breaths. Come into that deep relaxed state here. Your Shavasana. Your doing is done here. So the legs can come away from each other. If you'd like to put a blanket on, you can. If you'd like to tug a bolster underneath the knees, please do. Notice how you feel. After a little bit of movement and some pranayama. A little breath work. Come into what you're calling into your life. Into that deepest part of your being. And feel the energy of it. And feel it happening. And what does that feel like? Maybe the corners of your mouth curl up. Like you've been told a really great secret. Let's give a moment to bless this body. This vehicle you're traveling through life in. This opportunity to love and to serve, to grow, evolve more into your true self. Your Sat Nam. Your true identity. I bring my palms together to honor that true identity, that true self. Sat Nam. Thank you for your practice.